Hello and welcome to another episode of the Legacy Recorder channel. Gosh, that was really dumb and stupid. Anyways, I am recording this video anyways. I don't feel fantastic, but you know, this is what we do. So, I usually do evergreen content. This week happens to be Valentine's Day week, which lots of people have lots of emotions around this time period. What I want to focus on is connection and what things look like when we build connection, when we build community, and when we are using storytelling. Big spoiler, storytelling, to actually build that connection and community. So one of the quickest ways to build connection and build community is to find common ground, also to really build rapport. So finding common ground with someone is a great way to build that really quick connection, build community, not to be meta. But the storytelling component of this is curiosity, asking questions, and you guessed it, using prompts or things that maybe other people wouldn't necessarily ask. And it gives you an opportunity to have a conversation with someone, build connection, find community with them in that common ground. So asking questions about things you're interested in, things you think they might be interested in. If you found them, if you met at a particular place, asking questions and then digging into that space is a great way and a great space to really dig into some place that could reveal some common ground. Now, if you're doing this with someone who is like a resident or a care person, or someone you're caring for, just keep in mind their body language and things like that, which is true for every person you talk to. But that connection part and that rapport and the community part happens usually when people have positive interactions. So it's not that we're manipulating people, it's just that we're being hyper aware or really aware of how our engagement with them is affecting them and how they're responding. And also your own as well. If you have a negative reaction to an engagement you're having with someone, you're less likely to have that engagement with them again. So when we're facilitating these storytelling conversations and trying to build connection and build community, keeping that positive part in mind is really important. So I wanted to share with you some things to read, watch, or listen to that can help with this. The first one is a read resource, and it is How to Share a Childhood Memory You Love or Love to Hate. Now, I included the prompt, I wrote the prompt like this because sometimes people have really fantastic memories, they have like a love memory, but they also have sometimes these like love to hate ones, like they're super cringeworthy, but they're super fun to talk about later because, we're not right in that moment. So these could be an embarrassing moment, but it's a really fun way to really build a quick connection. Sometimes those embarrassing stories really humanize the person, and you can find a way to, I was going to say latch on, but that's a really quick way to, common ground. Like if both something happened to you in childhood and it also happened to that person, but you would never have talked about it if you hadn't asked this question. So that's why the prompt was written like that. The link below will take you to a really comprehensive article about how to have that conversation. The watch resource is How to Help Residents Reconnect with Family. That's just a really quick bullet point slide video, really, of helping residents reconnect with family. There is a full written resource inside the description of the video. And the listen to is Storytelling with People You Love. It is, I believe, Valentine's Day themed. It's an old podcast episode, but is really wonderful and a great way to dig into storytelling with people you love. The resource that I have pulled out for this particular video is the First Date Activity Kit. I actually just made it. I'm super excited about it. So it includes a few ways to tell stories and first date inspired prompts. So think like 20 questions, except it's 16 questions. And it's kind of like on a bingo card, so you can do it together. Now, I called it a first date activity kit. It doesn't have to be like a first romantic date. This could be a friend date, or it could be the first time you're meeting someone. You can think of this as a great way to have starter questions, things to ask about, ways to find, you guessed it, common ground, and build rapport with each other, build a connection, and ultimately build community with the people around you. And for the storytelling activity, I'm reading my notes, sorry. So the storytelling activity I'm including is going back to really like thinking about childhood stuff. That's something that most everyone has experienced. Not everyone's childhood is the same, but there's usually some theme commonality things you can ask about. So favorite thing to do, usually someone had a favorite thing to do. And the follow-up question for that is, how did you start learning or doing this activity? And just what is one of your favorite memories, which goes back to that other resource we talked about. Did you have a favorite music group? Oh, and you can also ask about genre. So depending on where they're from, there might not have been music groups. What was your favorite TV show or movie? I always have a really hard time with this question because my exposure to TV when I was really small was limited. So I never have the same answers, and I'm always behind in every conversation I'm in with my peers, which is super entertaining. And then the other last question on the storytelling activity is, what did you want to be when you grew up? So I actually love asking this question now when I meet people. So when I meet someone now, I will actually ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? Which of course is assuming that there's still space for us to grow. And we get to choose and decide. And this particular question is a great way to expand someone's thought process around their human experience, that like maybe, especially if they're elderly or older, that it's not, they're not at the end yet. Like there still is more that they could be doing, and there's still room to grow. So that's a really fun question. There is a blog post or an article on the website that goes really in depth into that. I know there's a video somewhere. So that's something to go search for on the website. So that is the end for this video. That's everything. If you aren't on the email list yet, I highly suggest it. Emails go out twice a month, and they have like these resources in it. It shows up in your email inbox. And what else do we send out? That's the email list. But if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell if you'd like to get notifications, because notifications are fun. And that's really it. Go check out the first date activity kit. It's over on Etsy, and that is linked in the description below. So with that, I hope you have an incredibly wonderful day. And until we chat again, happy writing.